You can buy leads all day long, but if you can't reach them, you're just lighting money on fire. And so contact rate is going to tell you whether your marketing is generating real opportunity or just, phone numbers in a spreadsheet. And so here we're going to expose the gap between, activity and actual revenue potential. And so this is contact rate percentage and it's actual contact. Did you talk to somebody? Not just did you try to call them, but did you actually get through to them? And so we have a data set here and it's pretty in depth. If you've watched, other videos or gone through other parts of my book, then you would know, you've seen this before because you can get a lot of insights from this. But the main column that we need is going to be lead date, the channel, and then contacted here. Not speed the lead because you can see here, no, even though you tried, right? You might have tried to call them 30 minutes after getting, the lead, but they didn't answer, right? Or they didn't reply to your email or whatever it might be. And so we just need those three columns. But the first thing we need to do is we need to get the unique list of the months and the years in this data set. And you probably don't need to do all of this because, there are, 7,000 plus rows, and you might not want to go back, this far, but you can. And so, and I will just to show you, but you can always, delete the things you don't need the month and the years that you don't need. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to strip out the month and the year from the lead date here. And so the way we do that, I've already done it to show, the beginning example, but you just use the text function. So equals text, and you can choose either one of these. It's not going to matter, but text, comma, and then 4Ms. And then you will get the month. And then for the year, it's the same function, but instead of 4Ms, we'll do 4Ys. And then you have that here. Okay, so we already have this here. I just wanted to show you how to do it, but I'm going to delete these because we don't need them. We have them right here. And so the next thing we need to do is we need to get a unique list of the months, also sequential. So January, February, March, 25, and then January, February, March, 26. And so all we have to do is use the unique function. So equals unique, and then you can just click on month, hold down the shift key, and go and press the right arrow, and then hold down Control Shift and press the down arrow, and then you can press enter, and then you get a unique list just like that. Okay, so now I want to remove the formula. So I'm going to highlight everything, press Control C to copy, and then Control Shift V to paste. And then you can see there's no more formula because we don't want the formula there. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to get a unique list of the channel type. Where are these leads coming from? And so I'm going to show you three functions in one, and I'll start with the unique function, and then I'll start to wrap things around it. So we know we have a table called table leads. Here, I'll show you. So this is a table, but if you go to table design, you can see the name right here. So now you can use this in your formulas. So equals unique table leads and then channel. And channel is the source of all the leads, the name of the column. Okay, so now we want to put this in, and you don't have to, but we want to put this in, or I want to put this in, alphabetical order. And so I'm just going to wrap the unique function with the sort function. And now you can see it's in alphabetical order. But now the final thing I want to show you here with this is how to transpose from the column to the row. And that's going to be the transpose function. So transpose, sort, unique, table, the leads table, and then the marketing channel. And now you have that. Again, Control C, Control Shift V, and now we have the unique list sorted alphabetically and also across the row and not across, and not in the column here. Okay, so now we need to figure out the contact rate. So we have yeses and nos here, right? So essentially what we want to do to get the contact rate percentage, we want to count the number of yeses in the numerator and in the universe of the leads for that marketing source by month, by year in the denominator. And so the first thing we need to do is count if contacted is yes, the month is January, the year is 2025, and then the channel is whichever channel it is, starting with Angie. And we want to do the row count for each one, and that's the numerator of the equation. And so I'll show you how to do that. So count if S. Count if is one criteria. Here we have 4 criteria, right? We have the source Angie, the year 2025, the month January, and then the contacted yes or no, with yes in this example. So we can just type everything here because we know sort of what the columns are. And if you don't know, then you can see them right here. Or you can always go back into your data set. So you can do any order. It doesn't have to be channel first or month first or year first or contacted, the yes or no column first. It could just be any of these in any order. And so it's going to take just a second because I have to go through, all of these. So the month is going to be here. You can sort of see the little ants right here. They call them ants whenever you see this cell being highlighted. So that's for month. And then next, table leads. And then the year here. Well, sometimes Excel gets a little weird and it won't let you click over. And then finally, again, table leads and then contacted. And here we want yes. So we have 8. So in other words, for January 2025, Angie had 8 leads that were contacted. So now on the bottom, we need the number of leads total, right? To include the ones that you didn't get in touch with. And so what we can do is we just need this exact formula and then just to strip out a couple things. So I'm going to divide by the same formula, but what I'm going to do here is I want to take out the yes. So this section here, because now we want the yes and the no combined. So if we take that out, it's going to be any row that's Angie 2025 January, which is what we want because the other column is only yes or no. And now you have a percentage. So I'm going to press Control Shift and the number 5 to format it as a percentage. Okay, so here we want to just drag this over and drag it down, but you're going to notice that you're going to get an error. And the reason is because now you can see these cells came down. So now it's February 2025, which is good. The problem is this came down, and we don't want this to come down. We want it to stay here. If it stays there for both times, then it makes sense, right? Then it works. But it's not going to do that unless you tell Excel, like, hey, as I drag this down, I want the marketing channel to stay the same. But if I go left to right, like this one, you can see this shifted over as well. You can see there's nothing over month. And so you have to do what's called absolute referencing. Right now, this is relative referencing. It's all relative. You go over one, everything goes over one, right? So you go over one, and you have D2 turns to E2. Right? B3 goes to C3, and we don't want that. And the way you do that is using dollar signs. And so anywhere you want to lock the column, so like the red and the purple here, you want to put the dollar sign before the column, meaning before the letter. So for this one here, just type in the dollar sign. You can also use the F4 key, and you can cycle through everything. And then for this, same thing on the left. And then for this, we want to do the dollar sign before the number because numbers are rows in Excel and letters are columns. And then the same thing here. And then you're good. One more thing, because it's a table, you're still going to have this issue because the channel is changing to source type. So the channel is also moving. But the way around that is just copy the value, highlight your range, and then paste. And then now you can see you have everything, correctly. And so now what we're going to do is a couple more things. We want an average and an average. And so this is going to give us the average for Angie for the year. And this is going to give us the average of January 2025, February, March, April, May. This will be Angie, direct, email, Facebook. And so the benefit is we can just use the same formula and just like before, we can strip out the things we don't need. And so here, we don't need the month and the year. We just want Angie. And so you can just go in the table and just delete those sections. So month, right here, month and year. You can take this out. Make sure the comma is still there. Make sure it's just one comma. And then here, same thing, month and year. And you can strip that out. So you can see right here, this is counting. Oh, we don't need this either. This is, just how many leads for Angie said yes, or you yes in the context column versus just the total number of leads. Control Shift 5. And then here again, just copy and then paste. And then for here, it's sort of the same, just different in the sense. Yeah, we don't want to, because it's looking for the word average. So we just copy this and then we paste it. And then now, anywhere you see Yelp, right? Because we just want January in 2025. And then we'll drag it down and it'll change. So anywhere you see the channel, just delete that. So right here, delete this. And then here you can just double click. Okay, so the final thing we want to do is we want to have a benchmark. So in other words, anything below a certain number, let's just say 80%. And so now we want to highlight sort of all of these, and I'm going to hold down Control and then highlight these. Go to Home, Conditional Formatting, highlight cells less than, and then click here, 80. So you can, now it's dynamic, right? But what I want to do, because if you're sharing something like this with your team, they might not know that this is a changing cell right here. And so what you're going to want is text. You're going to want to add text to the changing cell. In other words, if you want to say like bench mark 70%, it's not going to work because it's being stored as text. So we want to add the word benchmark, but we still want it to be formatted as a number so this could be done correctly. So go into the cell where you have your percentage, press Control-1 to bring up the formatted cell dialog box, go to Custom, and it's already here at 0%. Click before and type, where it says type, and then type benchmark, and then a colon space, and you can do quotations again. And then now you have a benchmark here. And so, yeah, so you can change it that way. But anyways, so that is essentially how you can calculate contact rate percentage. And again, this is leads that you spoke with, not leads that you tried to speak with. Because if you got a lead and you only tried to contact 62% of them, it's like, yeah, it's not, you're wasting a lot of money. Even at the contact level, if you're only talking to, 4 out of 10 people that you're getting from your email marketing campaigns, they're not high quality leads. But yeah, so anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, questions@databoards.io. If you want this file, there's a link to download it. If you can't find it, shoot me an email and just say, hey, Ryan, can you shoot over the marketing contact rate percent file? And also, if you need some help, getting files like this set up for your company, I mean, you can recreate these using Service Titan or, adding custom fields to pretty much whatever software you're using. And also, if you're getting, what is this? If you're getting 12 leads a day, just, you can have somebody manually entering in this data as well. It wouldn't take much time. I mean, maybe a minute a lead, right? So it might take 10, 15 minutes a day. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got for this video, and I'll see you in future lessons.